Welcome to the Networking with Michelle podcast, the show dedicated on providing you the how-tos of marketing and networking strategies. Here we believe in the Jim Rohn quote, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Hey good people, Michelle Gomez here. Thanks for tuning into the Networking with Michelle show. Look, it is Friday, August 25th. It is 8:55 a.m. and the city of Houston is talking about Hurricane Harvey, and I'm here recording a podcast. The show must go on, right? The show, the day, all of it must go on. I don't know what's happening. I just got some water. I may go back out there and buy some loaves of bread. We'll see what it do. But as of right now, I am good. I am good, right? I'm in my wheelhouse. I'm in my safe zone. And that's me recording this podcast. So I definitely want to thank you for your time and your attention whenever you listen to it, right? Whether it's Friday or whether it's next week, Wednesday, when the storm is over. I just want to thank you. So this is actually a bonus episode. I'm very, very proud of this because last week, Friday, I had a chance to speak at the Melanin and Mental Health event here in Houston, Texas. So a special shout out to Ebony Harris and Eliza for putting on a dope event, a dope concept. I think this is very, very important as Black and brown people, African Americans and Latinos. This is something that's not talked about within our community. And if you've been following me on this journey for the past 2 years, I have not shied away on speaking about mental health through the podcast. In 2015, we had Dr. Dion Mesker here. Fabulous woman, fabulous, spectacular woman. And we spoke about the Charleston massacre at that time, as well as just, mental health in general. Last year I had Brandon Jones, that brother, shout out to him. He got next. I believe he lives in St. Paul, Minnesota, but he's literally in the backyard of where Philando Castile, unfortunately, lost his life last year due to police brutality. So brought him on the show. He was able to provide some insight. Oh my God. During that time when all of these shootings were going on, and once again, just mental health in general. And me, myself, I've never shied away with it. I have a therapist. I've been seeing my therapist off and on for 6 years. I started again this year. I actually have an appointment today, weather permitting. And, especially times like this, if you're new to Houston, if you're a transplant, you're not used to this hurricane and you're like, okay, I don't have no family here. What do I do? Or maybe it's the holidays and you can't get to your family for whatever reason. What do I do? And I think these are the moments where we really, really have to check on people to make sure that they're okay. And it's not about being bipolar. It's not about depression. It's just about taking care of yourself. Just like, when we're in school, at least when I was in school, we had PE, right? We had physical education. There's always been an emphasis on the body, right? What do you eat? Eating from the 4 food groups or however many food groups there are, or making sure you get your exercise, making sure you get your heart rate up. But we never talk about just the peace, right? Just the mindfulness. And, it's okay to take a break, and the break is not about, working 50 weeks for a 2-week vacation. It's about just finding a little peace in the middle of the day, right? And maybe it's 10 minutes, or maybe it's the 48-hour weekend. But whatever it is, I just want to encourage you to take that break for yourself because you owe it to yourself for your mental health, right? And one thing I learned from my younger brother, is that lots of times we have to let go of things because we need that mental space, right? And it's not so much about exerting yourself and doing the work, but it's more about like that thing we're thinking about that we don't want to address, we don't want to confront, or we keep pushing back, but it's still lingering. It's like, all right, Michelle, you know what you're supposed to be doing. That little voice in the back of your head, sometimes it's like getting rid of those voices That way you're at full peace. Like when you know, it's like, okay, I'm about to binge watch. I'm about to binge watch my show. I can do it in peace, right? And not thinking about, oh, I got so much work to do, which that's still going to happen. But it's really about just being mindful, just having peace of mind. I'm telling you can't put a price on that. But the reason why I'm so excited about this presentation, I got so much support from the time I posted it and promoted the event to showing my 30-second clip. People are like, hey, I can't wait to hear it. Do you have video, audio? And I felt that, to me, this was kind of like the best of both worlds. I think as a marketer, speaking in front of therapists or clinicians, I would have never expected that. And I wanted to do something different. I didn't want it to be the typical, use these popular hashtags and all this kind of stuff. And I thought I would have an interesting perspective as I have a therapist. I've had my therapist for the past 6+ years, and I kind of talk about certain things regarding my well-being, and as a marketer, and how can I combine these concepts together. And I titled this Humanizing Mental Health Through Social Media. Humanizing mental health through social media. And I must say, it's pretty dope. So go ahead and check it out. Let me know what you think. Post your comments on Facebook. Reach out to me on Twitter. And yeah, I'm grateful. Grateful. So without further ado, humanizing mental health through social media. I'm very excited to be here. I love the concept of melanin and mental health. I think it's very important because I've been in counseling all my life, right? Off and on all my life. From the time I was in grade school, seeing a counselor for learning development, up to now, where I have my therapist for personal development. And my current therapist, I've been seeing her for about 6 years, and I took a break. And just this past January, I decided to see her again for several reasons, right? We'll get to that later. But what continues to surprise me is when I talk to people in passing, and I'm like, they're like, hey, what are you doing? It's like, oh, I got an appointment with my therapist, let's meet up later, or whatever, trying to get schedules. Everyone continues to look at me like, what's wrong with you? Well, why do you have a therapist? Is there something I need to know? And it's like, nothing's wrong with me, right? I'm not diagnosed with anything. Even if I was, it's still okay. But there came a time in my life where I had to realize, I had to become secure with myself that I need help, right? And not just admitting that I need help, but going to get that help, right? And I know y'all go to events like this all the time, networking events and conferences, and you have a brand strategist and a social media marketer specialist, and they're up here and they're telling you how you need to use this color for your business cards. Y'all heard this, right? And how your business cards need to be uniform with your website, and then you need to go create an Instagram quote, and then you need to use all 30 hashtags to increase your visibility. And then you're going to send a message to someone, right? Facebook direct message. I'm sure y'all heard this, right? And then you're going to get a client. Have y'all heard this before? Does it work? Do y'all want me to talk about that today? Because I can. But if it's not working, maybe you need to, hear something else, right? And there's a lot of strategies and tactics we can talk about when it comes to marketing. But I feel like your profession's different, right? So maybe you need to hear something different, right? Because you're not a life coach and you're not a business coach. You're not in that industry where, people brag. It's like, oh, I saw my business coach and, my income doubled in 2 months, right? Y'all's profession's a little bit different. So maybe y'all need to hear something different. And what I want to talk to you about tonight is how to humanize mental health through social media. Oh, y'all like that? Yeah. All right, cool. Okay. I'm on the right track. How are we going to humanize mental health through social media? And I read a lot. I'm a reader. I love reading. Every morning I wake up, I spend 15 minutes in bed reading articles, okay? Whatever it may be. I'm sure you have all seen these articles about it's okay, we family. We've all seen those articles about the conflicts of, and I'm speaking to us, right, our community. Those articles that say, it's like the church is not up to par when it comes to addressing mental health, right? Or we've seen those articles where, don't forget, check on your strong black friend, right? Because how many of y'all are that strong black friend? I'm that strong black friend. I'm like, I need help too, okay? That's why I gotta pay someone to get some professional help. Because sometimes, I learned a long time ago, my girlfriends will lead me astray. I'm like, hold on now. I don't think this advice is safe. But we've seen those articles where, what about the brother that commits suicide? Right? And I always feel like a lot of these articles are a negative connotation. It's like we don't see that article on mental health until it's in the event of celebrity. Jay-Z 4-4, right? We don't see that article until it's event of tragedy, right? Whether it's a celebrity tragedy. And it's like, why does it have to be that way? What are we going to do to change that? Now, how many of y'all consider yourself an expert? By a show of hands. Are you an expert? Some of y'all? Okay. All right. So, what is an expert? What is an expert?
Know a lot of things.
Someone that knows.
They're knowledgeable in their field.
Right. So, I'm going to give you permission today. You are an expert. You can call yourself an expert. And the reason why you can call yourself an expert is because you have knowledge or a skill set in a specific area, right? So I'm pretty sure if you stand next to me and you talk about your thing, right, you're the expert. And I'm gonna talk about my thing in marketing and I'm the expert. So you're an expert. And what I want to encourage you today is, what if you, the expert, what if you wrote that article on how that brother that was about to commit suicide, how he got professional help and it saved his life. It preserved his life. What if you're that person that writes the article on how picking up yoga changed my life, my mental and my physical abilities, right? That's your area of expertise. What if you wrote that piece, right? What if you wrote that piece that's gonna help me today? That's gonna, like, you know what? I can do this. Not like, oh man, we lost another one. Or it's that's the other article where the black woman is silencing, the black woman is suffering in depression with silence, right? But what if we talk about how the sister got help? How she got help and she was able to balance her life a little bit better. Like, where's that piece? I mean, that's what I want to read, right? Because I'm that sister that tells. Like, every day I'm trying to get my life. And it's still chaotic. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy, right? And I just want to see, like, what can we do to put the positivity when it comes to getting help? When are we going to see those pieces, right? And when I speak with my clients, I do a lot of social media consulting. When I speak to my clients, and I'm like, okay, what's your problem with social media? The thing is, they're like, well, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to post. It's like, okay, well, what are you creating? You got to create content. We have to have those articles, right? Whether it's a blog post, a video, a podcast. When you start creating that content, those articles, those pieces that people want to see, you're going to be able to put that on social media. Does that make sense? All right. Now, I do believe you have to play to your strengths, right? So I'm not great on video. I'm great right now because I'm not looking at the camera. But with me holding the camera, that's a different story. So I focus on podcasting. Okay. So what I usually do, I do interviews. I'll take one, like for example, on Monday, I'm gonna take one interview. I interviewed Gwen Jamari. She's the CEO of Naturalicious. It's a natural hair product. Okay. So I interviewed her, upload that on my podcast. My podcast goes to iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, my website. We'll just say 5 channels for easy math. Okay? I'm gonna upload that to YouTube.
How many of y'all know if you upload on YouTube, you can get a transcription? You know that? So if you go to a YouTube video, it has the 3 dots, click there for more, and you have the option to have that video transcribed for you. Okay? Now it's not perfect, but it's better than you sitting down for 45 minutes, pressing stop, writing and typing, okay? So go to YouTube, get that video transcribed, copy and paste it in Google Docs, and what if you were able to write a blog post on that, right? Whether it's your video or someone else's video, a video that inspired you, and then you link the video, okay? So I'm showing you how you can repurpose content, okay? So you have your video, do a 60-second clip, you can put it on Instagram, you get the transcription, you can write a blog post, you can create a quote for Instagram, everyone wants to do it for the gram, I'm right there with you, okay? Then you can use your 20 or 30 hashtags, okay? Work with me, follow me, okay? And then, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take that interview I did for my podcast, I'm gonna have the audio on my website and the other platforms, but I'm actually gonna submit an article to this publication I write for called Pancakes and Cider. Okay? And what I realized is as much content as I create, you wanna look at social media as a distribution channel, okay? So you have to create the content. You're gonna put it out on these channels, all these platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you name it, you put it out there. Okay, you're distributing that content because you want it to reach the masses. That's what social media is gonna do for you, right? It's not just posting whatever. I do that too, don't get me wrong. But you gotta switch it up. You gotta show your expertise. Because what I realized, it's a couple of different things. What I realized, people are thirsty for knowledge, but they want to go to the expert that they trust. And what if you wrote that piece that brings them in, right? What if you create that content that reaches your target audience that allows you to extract your ideal client? And let's see. What's your dream car? Jaguar? What color? Black, okay. You see a lot of black Jaguars? You do? Every now and then?
Because I wanted to see it. You see it everywhere.
Okay. I like where you're going, right? So, I always get that argument. Well, Michelle, it's like you think, okay, this is, anyone got a business? Small business owners? Okay. I love my small business owners, right? So before you start, right, when you still in corporate and you got that check, you're like, okay, I'm gonna start my business, I'm gonna do things differently, I got something to say. And then, you're in your head, you fooling yourself, you go to church, you start listening to the sermons, every message is for you, right? You're like, I can do this, okay, I'm gonna launch my business. That's what happened to me. And then, it's kind of like when you go to the dealership, you get a car, you're like, man, I want that black Jaguar. And as soon as you pull out the lot, hit that corner, you see a black Jaguar. Like, I thought my Jaguar is gonna be special. It's the same thing with small business, right? You start your business and you're like, man, I thought it was gonna be different, and the market is saturated. It's like everyone's saying the same thing. And then you're really like, man, so how am I gonna be different? It's what I thought was different. It's not different. Anyone have that problem? Every now and then, sometimes. So what I realized, people are gonna work with you for 2 main reasons. 2 reasons. 1, your personality. 2, your process. Your personality and your process, okay? So you're writing, you're creating all this great content. I'm following you on Instagram, I'm liking everything, I'm resharing, I'm retweeting, I'm reposting. Because I'm about that life. I'm about this new yogi life. Okay, I'm going out and following her. I'm going to her website. I'm going to look at those prices. Oh, Lord. Lord. Right, okay. How much is it for one session? Okay. Still trying to go to Barbados on October, though. Right? I'm about to drop $200 for a 50-minute session. right? How am I going to tell my friends I'm going to see a therapist, I'm about to drop $200 for a 1-hour session? Y'all friends about that life? They trying to, or they want to do brunch on Sundays, right? I can't do brunch because I'm trying to get help.
Right.
Right? But I'm following your content, right? Because the beauty about creating the content is your personality. That's what's going to hook me, right? I'm liking your videos. I'm liking your blog posts. I'm thinking your voice is resonating with me. Okay? You're that sister, you're that brother that when you write this piece, it's like you have a way to break it down like it's forever broken. And then I'm like, ooh, I want to work with her. Right? So once you get me there, right? Follow your content, you got that winning personality, it's beautiful, okay? You get me there, I call you, I email you, what's the process? The process is what's going to keep you working. And that's how social media works. Talk about it all. Content marketing, social media, all of it goes together. You have to create the content that's going to win people over, right? Whether it's for your company, your employer, your business. What are you putting out there that's going to attract people to you through your content? That way you have something to post on social media. But you got to play to your strengths. Now, I'm not that person. Got a lot of folks who know they need to be on every platform. Pick one. Pick one platform, master that. Okay, because it's a lot. It's overwhelming. It's a lot. And then work your way up. You know, create that hashtag that's unique for you. Like I have 2 hashtags, my company. Line 25 Consulting, Networking with Michelle. Okay? And then I use the others. So I talked about the repurposing content. Any questions? Social media, content marketing, humanizing. I just feel like it's just so taboo and it bothers me, you know? And I feel like y'all have a special profession where you can't necessarily promote it like another business, right? Because people have to trust you. I feel like your profession is an actual call, right? So you have to create that trust with people. Yes. I really dislike social media, but it's necessary to master my platform. Like, do you recommend that how to post really frequently? Because that's my problem with my business. Like, I really don't like to post that much, and I feel like I need to. So, I don't like to think about my platform. Which platform would you like to focus on? So, I have Facebook and Twitter. I really still don't use Twitter very much, so Facebook problem. So I think if you're on Facebook, if you post once a day, that's fine. But I also, and the reason why is because, look, I'm addicted to Facebook. But as much as I'm on Facebook, there's still those times when I'm like, oh, I missed that event because it didn't come until 3 days ago, you know? So those algorithms are always changing, but at the same time, you have Buffer and Hootsuite, where if you spend maybe a Saturday or Sunday, you go in, you post your 5 or 6 articles, quotes, or whatever, and you let those cycle through, Monday through Saturday or whenever. Yes?
No, that's what I was going to say was, there's apps where you can, let's say you dedicate Sunday or Friday to just generating a bunch of, you see an article you like, flip to Buffer, and then you're set for like however many articles you want to put there. You can schedule it so you can forget about it. Okay.
Make it easy on yourself. Social media is overwhelming. I know this stuff, and I'm like, oh, hold on, not today.
I do want to say, I think you made a good point about like missing things. Elisa does our social media, and Elisa does a really good job with our social media. And she posts a lot. I had so many people over the past week telling me, you have an event coming up on Friday? I didn't know you had an event coming up on Friday. And like, we had over 100 RSVPs, but people are still missing it. And so even if people are posting all the time, like it really does matter. Like people will miss it, they won't know. So you have to post regularly.
So let me.
You were scared to post it more.
Right, that's true.
We already have 100 people RSVP, which we know you might get half
y'all are making this cool, right? So you got the cute catchphrase. So I'm just glad to participate. You know, so I do think it's things like this that's going to help, you know, and if everyone is sharing and saying their opinion, it all helps.
I would say that sometimes people are scared to use social media because they feel like they have nothing to say. The thing is really to just start to say something, and then over time it'll get easier and easier to say stuff. And even if it is something that you think everybody else is saying, sometimes people are looking at you and they've never heard of it before,
Right.
even if it sounds super simple. And that's happened to me a lot. And like in my mind, I'm like, oh, you didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that shows you that there's people out there who are interested in what you have to say, even if you think everything. The other thing is that you're kind of in your mental health practitioner mode. Right. So there's a lot of people who are not in that mode. So just keep that in mind, and you'll get more comfortable with it as you go.
Well, I was gonna add, I think one thing for the clinicians, I think part of why it's difficult sometimes to figure out social media is I think, you know, we're also really aware like of our licensing and how it can play into ethics and if our clients get into us. And I think we're kind of like this first generation of clinicians where social media is really like how do we use it and keep in mind our ethics and you know,
I gotta ask.
yeah.
You got a question? Or?
Oh, just a contribution. For when not having something to say or not knowing what to say. What I find myself with clients, I say a lot of the same things, trust the process, these little catchphrases that have become what I say, and I post those. Because it's like I'm constantly finding myself saying it over and over in different clients and different situations. Let's just share that. I'm gonna say this 3 times today. This post.
Right.
I don't
Then you know
it's an issue today. Maybe somebody else needs to hear this, and just simply that is a starting point. And just being connected to other people and sharing, like I've shared their posts several times this week because I'm like, oh my God, share. So that counts for my one post. So
There
just
you
being
go.
connected helps with finding things to post as well.
So there's a couple of methods, right, when it comes to creating content. So for example, when I started seeing my therapist 6-7 years ago, feels like longer, I was working at JP Chase, right? And I was going through a series of relationships. I was like, okay, I need help. And Chase is a great company, big company, so there's a lot of benefits that come with that. And one of them was the employee assistant program. And I was able to get my first 5 sessions for free, right? So I called the 800 number, you know, scroll through some people, I selected my therapist. And I could have either visited 5 different people or I decided to stick with one person. But I feel like I didn't know what to do. I'm a person that takes action. But a lot of people don't know what to do or they don't know that option's available. So what if you wrote that article, that piece on, you know, how to get free help or seek a counseling or whatever for free? Or what is the process? What do I need to look for in a therapist, right? Or how do I track the progress after my first visit, my 5 visits, 6 months, 12 months? Because a lot of people don't know. And I know y'all watching Secure. I know y'all watching Secure. And I definitely got to commend them because they're addressing a lot of issues. And I think they mentioned that in episode 2 this season. And Issa was like, well, if she, I don't know if she had insurance or not, but basically she was saying if she had insurance or the money, she would see a therapist. And that's another reason why a lot of our people don't. Because a white counterpart, I pay out the pocket, me personally. I'm a small business owner. I pay $165 to go see my therapist. Now, a lot of our white counterparts have the money to do so. But for us, we either don't have the money, we don't have the insurance, or we just don't. Okay, dot. And I feel like if there's more education marketing behind that, people are like, okay, I can do this. Right? Or what's the goal around? Like, I've been with my therapist for so long, she's like, look, I'm broke. What we about to do? And it's like, I paid her, but it's like, I lost my job. But I, like, more reason why I need to more reason why I need to see you, right? Can't be here every other week, but I'm here once a month, okay? But I think what we put those things in perspective, that's gonna help. And we're just so scared. And I just want us to remove the fear. Like, I really advocate for mental health because I'm like, nothing's wrong, you know? And then on the flip side, I have a friend, she won't go because she's afraid that this black network's real smart. Once you go out a couple of times, you know everybody. And she's so afraid that she's gonna run into this therapist she hasn't even but it's like, those are some of the things that, we're worried about, because it's like, oh, well, I'm this, 6-7 figure business owner or whatever, I don't want people to know my business. So it's like, okay, of course you have regulations to your license or anything, but what if, once again, that trust factor, it's like we're missing that trust on why we should see you. And I think that needs to be communicated more.
Education is always
something. So ethically, we're called to see people whether they can pay or not sometimes. And I think with the newer generation, we have to get comfortable with seeing people pro bono more often and getting comfortable seeing a therapist so they will tap into it and buy into what the service does, life changing. I think some people get into it and they're so money hungry that they forget, to give those pro bono services, or like, bring me a Starbucks and $20 bill and we can work it out or whatever. I know there's ethical guidelines, but still like that humanizing mental health.
Like, so I don't know what it is on the back end, right? I know my therapist, she stopped taking insurance because she said it's too much of a hassle, right? So it's like, I know you have, but I'm a capitalist, right? So I'm like, if you gotta charge, you gotta charge, and people just gotta figure out how they're gonna pay you or not pay you, okay? If you have a small business, right? But that's me. Everyone don't think like me.
I just want to say that I think that really, maybe morally, but ethically, we don't have to see anyone that doesn't have the passion to see. But I do think that depending on people's situation, you may work with people, you may see them for less, and that's on each therapist. I know I've been in this profession for a long time. When I started seeing people, I just said, okay, I was seeing the way you can pay. That didn't work out so well for me because when I was seeing someone and they were paying me $50 an hour, and they came in talking about taking a trip. I'm thinking, okay, I'm making a sacrifice. You're not making any sacrifices. So I think for each person, you have to figure out what type of sacrifice you're willing to make that doesn't make you resentful, because you're not going to get good commissions. You're going to be resentful when you lose your fee, and some person is coming in saying, oh yeah, I just paid $500 to get some hair. Right. Because your mental health should be a priority, and if that's not a priority for you, then I still have to feed my kids the same way you have to, get your hair done. So I think those are things that you have to think about when you're deciding to be.
So let me speak on that. Like, regardless of your profession, right? As a small business owner, I say value. Pricing is a formality, right? So money is nothing but an exchange, energy exchange, right? So I see value in you. That's why I'm paying you, and that's why I'm going to keep seeing you. So once again, it goes back to that process, that personality. Now, everyone's different across the board, experience and all that kind of stuff. $50 or whatever, but like, just get your money, and let it be more than $50. Let it be more than $100.
Well, I was just going to say that's part of why we want to do this, because we know people that do sliding scale. We know people that work at nonprofits. We know, so the goal is to find if you have to do private pay because insurance is a hassle, you don't want to have to report, your patient's illnesses, you don't want to have them ask you for your money back in a year. Those things. We want to make sure that we have the resources that we meet other clinicians that do take sliding scale or that work for nonprofits that are offer free counseling. Because those options are here, but we don't even know about it until our clients about it, And so I think that's one of the points of this, so we can get to know other people and get to know the options that they have, so that we can tell people about the options that they have. Yes.
Yeah. And I think finding out for you as a clinician, as a business person, what works right for you, what model is right for you. For some people that may be sliding scale in insurance,
dedicate, what have you, that works really well for some people. I think that's the part that's also missing, that a lot of us may go through our training, but don't get the business side of it, because this is still a business.
Yeah.
When you work for an agency, or you work for yourself, you're still providing a service.
Right.
And so really being able to provide customer service, which I think is lost because so many of us go into this profession because we care about people, we got our hearts out there. And we can do both. And I think figuring out how to do both, because we talk about it all the time, self-care, self-care, self-care. If you're burnt out, how good are we able to do that? That's right. But I think it's figuring out what works for you, because I think what's really difficult often for clinicians is to take our therapist hat off and put our business hat on, so we can stay there and be able to provide these services. And there's, I think, a lot of ways to do that, whether it be a certain amount of slots that you have available for clients. Like, what can you do so that you are at your best when you see those people coming through?
Yeah. Yes.
I met a gentleman last night from India, and he has a company, and in India they write a blog post, they write Facebook posts for people, and they charge, I want to say, I think he said for Facebook it's like $200 something. Each post is original, the photos, he says are original, and he showed me some examples of them, and they're really awesome and elaborate. And I forget how many posts you get. I know it's daily. It might be more than once a day that they post for you. Do you think something like that is worth it? I mean,
$200?
Yeah. I'll post a day. 30 posts a day.
Check out Fiverr.
No, that's a lot of money.
No, per month.
Oh, okay. Per month.
Really, they go
So,
graphics, so people call it is really kind of over the top, but
okay, $200 a month, that's different. But that's my concern. This is my concern with that, right? Once again, it goes back to your expertise, right? You are the expert, right? You're in that situation. Maybe if you're talking to a client, there's something that resonated with, something that has inspired you that maybe you want to write on. I believe you have to create your own content, or at least do it in such a way that you're able to edit the content, right? Versus, it's tricky. And I'm a marketer, right?
I don't want to pay it, but you can't
Right.
edit it.
Right.
Review it first.
Yeah.
But that seems like a lot of work to me to have to review it.
And it's kind of like you're doing double duty. I believe in original content because I feel like no one has your voice. And it goes back to the personality and process. So if I was to write something right now, I know people are like, that's not Michelle, right?
Well, he says they find your voice, they match your
It takes time. It takes time. I mean, you can study someone's voice and their tone, but it takes time. But I want you.
Depends on what your goal is.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think social media, the content approach gets so overwhelming. It's pressure to make these amazing posts, but I know you'll post like love, like a full background.
Yes.
That's nice.
And my whole deep thought was 12 people.
You don't say love in like cursive. I'm like, ooh. Simple things that really
It's about the option.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other piece that we have to kind of keep in mind is like the audience that we're trying to connect with are inundated so much as well. And so what do we do to make sure that it does read authentic versus just
That's
one of a million different
You know what? Okay, you know what one of my pet peeves are right now? Once again, I know y'all watch Insecure. I know y'all watch. Someone called me Sunday night. Let's talk about it. Okay. There's so many articles on Insecure, Team Lawrence, and Team Issa, and what they need to do, right? And I'm like, y'all ain't professionals. Y'all don't know. And it's like, where's the piece on like maybe I should seek help after a long-term relationship is ended, right? It's like everyone has. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're entertaining. I read them. I laugh. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not sharing this stuff. But it's like you're talking about relationships is fun, right? It's agonizing if you're in it, and it's fun if you're reading about someone else's.
But like, I'm like, okay, where's the I seen one article that was like, you know, she was a licensed therapist or whatever she was with her credentials. But I'm like, everyone has an opinion about relationships. I'm like, you don't know. Like, you're imposing your experiences and beliefs on F-boys, and while Lawrence is one, which don't get me started. But, you know, it's like you're imposing your experience based and translating it to the show, right? And of course it goes viral because of the hashtag or whatever the case may be. But I'm like, you know, all the characters need help. And, you know, some of the people writing the articles need help too. But I kind of like, part of me is like, where's the professional opinion on some of these things? And I think it's actually smart, right? I mean, if you were able to write an article Sunday night, Monday morning, and, you know, use the hashtag, yeah, jack the virality, absolutely, you know. But I feel like, y'all saw the article on 443, like the spinoff of the Jack, like, clearly she has gone through some stuff, right? And that's fine, because we all have. Like, you know, I could write some stuff too. But it's like, where's the professional opinion to complement all of the articles that are entertaining? I would like to see that, but you know, I'm biased. So, but yeah, I mean, just when you're creating your content, demonstrate your expertise. Look at social media as a distribution channel. Let your winning personality show, and keep me with the process. Show me your process. I want to stay with you. I want to work with you, but tell me why. Right? The value is in the how. And the how is the process. I believe in you. Let's see some good things. Yeah.
Thank you.
Boosting your posts on Facebook, we about boosting.
Yes, so Facebook ads, I do agree with that. Definitely create a budget with that. There's a couple of ways you can do that. Do you have an email list?
No, I don't have it.
Okay, so Facebook has this thing, Facebook ads has this thing called retargeting. Okay.
What is it called?
Retargeting. Retargeting. So you have a Facebook business page?
Yes.
Okay. So if you have a Facebook page, business page, if you go into your settings, there's a Facebook pixel code. Okay. And you may have to Google this or search on Facebook, it'll give you the instructions. But you snag that pixel code and you put that onto your website. Okay? And what's going to happen is when someone goes to your website, so you write this article, they go to your website, they read the article, right? You create a Facebook ad, and they go back to Facebook on their timeline, on their homepage, your ad will pop up. So does that make sense? Okay. So you create an article, right? And you want to boost it, you want to run an ad on it.
I'm putting the article on my Facebook business page.
Right, you're going to post it on your Facebook page, right? Also, there's going to be a pixel code. You copy and paste that Facebook pixel code, put it on your website, okay? So if I click on your article, I'm going to read it on your website, okay? So it's like cookies, right? You know when you go to DSW and you're looking at those red pumps, and then it starts following you everywhere? That's what that is, okay? So I read your article, and then when I go back to Facebook and I'm scrolling through my timeline, I'm going to see whatever your ad is, I'm going to see that in my timeline. Because I was on your page. And I'm like, what's your name? Dawn. Dawn? Like, man, I see her everywhere. She must know her stuff.
It's like automatically adding.
I need to like her page. I need to go back and read another article next week. You know, that personality, yeah, I want to work with her. So that's how that works.
But you have to pay the booster article for that to happen, right?
Yeah, you have to pay. If you're going to run an ad on Facebook, you have to pay. And I mean, it's as small as $5 a day, and then you can stop it in the middle of the day. And it's the same thing applies to Instagram as well. You see Instagram ads. Yeah. All right, good people. I hope you enjoyed that presentation. Once again, humanizing mental health through social media. I just want to encourage you.
Look, if you need help, go get help. There's so many types of therapists out there, right? Whatever the problem is, there's so many therapists out there. melaninandmentalhealth.com. Go to their Facebook page. Go to their website. They're going to have a directory of therapists. I'm pretty sure most of them are going to be here in Houston, and then it's going to go nationwide. If you don't feel comfortable, please reach out to me. I'll be glad to refer you to my therapist or find a therapist. I will do that kind of work for you. It is so important. And don't be ashamed. You have to acknowledge when you need help, right? Whether it's personal or business, acknowledge when you need help. Look, every day, all day, I believe in you, okay? I believe in you. You can do it. You can do the work. You can do the work. I believe in you. Personal connection leads to an influential network. So thanks for networking with Michelle.